guest here. As you know, we've had this Mariquita Solis on. I was going to say this empowerment coach, but I said this Mariquita, like I know more than one, right? But she is a great friend of ours and also one of the best vegan empowerment coaches. I know she's been a blessing for us as we kind of navigate our vegan journey. And she's also a longtime vegan and has a lot of knowledge. She just became recently here certified nutritionist with eCornell, which is, if you haven't checked that out, it's a very, high status certification. So we have to listen to her now. That's what she said. So I'm going to listen to her for all my nutrition needs. I was joking with her before the show and said, please recommend Impossible Whoppers. But she's not going to do that. But she has like really amazing events. Just recently, I don't know if some of you who are here have joined it, but she had a New Year's event that was absolutely free for us, which I appreciate. And we really like learned to let go of 2023 and set our goals for 2024. She has a lot of courses that go with animal wisdom and incorporates how animals, what we can learn from them, and also a lot of vegan empowerment coaching to empower you as a vegan advocate, because it's a really difficult journey sometimes, and how to inspire others. So I want to welcome you, Mariquita. I didn't have that like formulated in a nice little opening, but that's my thoughts on you. So thank you for everything and for your YouTube content and your classes that you offer.
Thank you, JJ. That was great.
How are you today?
Doing good. It's been a very busy but good day. I hear ringing, ringing.
It stopped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was the day saying hello,
Yes,
right?
right. It was everyone saying hello to you. All the guests calling in, right? Hey, welcome. Thank you for joining, James, and thank you, Diana Varner, plant based. Thank you for joining us. I want to welcome you and you both, and everyone who's going to be joining in either live or in the comments. We have like a really great conversation set up for you today, and I appreciate you returning on the show to discuss this. Um, I guess before we get into the meat of the not the meat, the vegan meat of the conversation, could you just tell us a little bit about what is a vegan empowerment coach, so that when I say vegan empowerment coach, people know exactly what it is before we get started?
Well, a vegan empowerment, a lot of vegans are stressed out and depressed and really not living from that place of just tuning into themselves and knowing that they are strong people, right? That they might go out thinking they're going to be defeated. And so I'm here to show you the place of strength inside yourself and how to tune into that every morning. Before we get started, intentional living, right? Tune into that place of power so we can create our day, because we don't want to create our day on autopilot and desperation, feeling that we're not enough, playing small or feeling that we've a failure, right? We're not failures, and we're not going to play small. We're going to allow to fail, and that's great. If we fail, then what do we learn, right? We it's a way of looking at life differently. And so that's what I'm here. It's my mission to help people look at themselves in a positive light and realize that we're all on a growth journey. How can we grow every day, and how can we be better advocates for ourselves, so we're better advocates for the planet and for the animals? But first we have to be able to advocate for ourselves and know what we need and know how to be compassionate for ourselves.
Yeah, that's a really good thing, because I think a lot of times when you first become, you get all excited about everything. And the first thing you want to do when you've experienced good health changes and you start to realize, oh, this happens with animals, or, wherever you are in your evolution on the vegan journey, um, that's when you start to want to go and tell other people. And often you can become really discouraged at that point and start to feel like different. And, you know, unless you're around people who are like empowering you and like-minded people, which is why I love joining all of the groups and things, sometimes it can be frustrating because people may try to pull you the other way and say, oh, that doesn't work, or you're not going to be healthy, which we know obviously is not true. We're going to be healthier if you do it right, of course. But right by meaning, not like sometimes when I go off on a path of all the unhealthiest cookies and things that I could eat. But there are, many, many stories and studies, which now you're a nutritionist, of the stories of people healing, but yet you'll have people saying, oh, that's not healthy, or I heard this, or I heard that. And stop trying to tell me what to do. I'll eat the way I want. And you're not really telling them what to do. It's just, or you just kind of, it's a lot of stuff involved. So I appreciate you being there for people to help them navigate that, because there's a lot of people there to help us with recipes and things, how to become vegan. But in our mind is where we need a lot of help. So I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, that's very true. So yeah, I did take the class, the E. Cornell plant-based nutrition class. So that was exciting, and also learning about the addictions, and then people have been we know what it's like, from experience of learning about what we've been taught for our years. And I mean, all of our for this programming that we went through, um, to eat the way we did before we became vegan or whole food plant based. So we know what it's like, and it can be very challenging for people to break out of this, the cycles. So I don't even know what the point was, but um, I think when we're compassionate and understanding is when we make the most difference, and also lighthearted. Like you are very lighthearted. You're not judging anyone. You understand what it's. You've been in their shoes, and you don't. It's. I mean, we have to mindfully not be overwhelming to people.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it really does take, because it's easy, like you said, when we first become vegan, we want to say, "Hey, you're going to become vegan too," as soon as you hear this message, and we think, well, we already have our expectation, and it rarely goes the way that we think it will go. So we have to.
Very
I mean, I
rarely.
wish that very rarely, and then we make it, most of the time we turn people off. And so if we only could catch the vegans right when they went vegan and say, wait, don't tell anybody, wait till do it like this, that would be great. But I don't think it happens that way. So we're really kind of repairing relationships sometimes, and being mindful of how to do better, and forgiving ourselves for not knowing, and just forgiving ourselves in general. We're just perfectly imperfect people, and allowing for that. And then that's beautiful. We're still beautiful people, perfectly imperfect.
Definitely. Welcome, Mona. Thank you. Hello to you. Thank you for joining again today. I know I was joking with my Facebook group saying you're going to get tired of me being live. I'm just like, I love being here to share this message. And you're right. And it's not, I don't think it's necessarily like, that you can't tell everyone, but that kind of brings us into the realm of what we wanted to discuss. Like, I think for us to be role models, it's important for us to tell people, because like Diana mentioned here, she said lead by example, and lead by example to others, learning how to forgive myself. Yeah, like I think the example thing, because you've already been an example and have helped other people become vegan. So it is important that we don't hide ourselves, and not tell people our positive changes. I think like you said something when we put the name of the stream together, like beyond judgment, though, we can't judge other people, because we can't forget what we were like, how our level of consciousness was like at 41. I didn't know any of this. So if someone had just came to me and be like, hey, you shouldn't be eating that, I would have looked at them like, okay, I don't even know if what are you telling me what to eat for? But if someone said it the right way, hey, guess what, this is how I'm eating, this is how I feel. Like, what do you think is, in your opinion, the best way to approach it? Or does it make a difference depending who you're talking with?
Well, I think it does make a difference depending who you're talking with, but it always should be kind. And that's the thing. Like when we first become vegan, a lot of times we're just so overwhelmed by the images or the reasons behind it, and we're so charged, right? Like we're just like, oh, we want that we are not mindful. So it's about mindfully realizing who we're talking to, and allowing it to be what it is, and not insisting or forcing a change. I mean, and not even thinking that we're a failure. Of course, people don't usually, I mean, the chance that they're going to change and say, oh, I'm going to be vegan now after one conversation is, I don't even know, it's very slim to none, right? So,
Hmm.
so yeah. So, I mean, it's about the way we speak is knowing we have to start from that foundation. Hey, I'm not here. I'm looking for an outcome. I'm here just to show who I am and my health benefits, or what I feel about how I'm helping the planet, without judging them, and just allowing them to see if they're even interested in seeing it. That's another thing you said. Does it depend on who we're talking to? Yeah, I mean, are they interested in it, or are they kind of like, they turn away, or they don't want to hear it, and we have to be mindful of that. Then we have to just let it go until maybe they'll be wanting to hear it, maybe 2 years, 5 years. Maybe they have health issues. Maybe they don't care about animals, right? Maybe what do they care about? Maybe they're going to remember if you plant the seed. Wow, JJ really turned around her health. And you didn't have to say anything. Look at her. I mean, that they might have seen, her seeing your transformation, right? And then then they get sick and they say, I know who I can call. I know who I can get help from.
That's a great point. And you just mentioned something that reminds me of how everything on this earth grows is planting seeds. I love when you use that analogy because, just like anything, we don't always notice things the first time we see them or hear them. Like, sometimes, for lack of a better term, I'm stubborn, so I might have to see something 10 times before I click on it and be like, oh, yeah, that's right. What's that? Or I'll get sidetracked. So, like, just being consistent with your message. And like you said, I also think that at the right time, you have to, like, someone might not be ready right that moment. Maybe they're not in the right mood or the right mindset, or they haven't seen something else that then triggers them to want to learn more, but I don't know how many people. I've had a lot of people reach out to me years later after I told them I was vegan, or they have seen it on Facebook and said, I'm trying to, incorporate more plant-based. But at first it was, I think, because we care about people, it initially starts from that. We care about them and we want them to experience what we're experiencing, and we care about, animals. And I think, even though you might start being vegan for one reason, like me, to maybe lose weight and have health, I didn't realize what happens with animals until being in the vegan groups, and then make that connection like 6 months later. So, like, we can't also, to your point, tell everybody everything all at once. I think it's definitely, I had to, that's what was there for me at that time. Like, if someone had came to me and be like, you're an animal abuser because you eat meat, it might have, it'll make you defensive, when you haven't made that connection yet. So I love that, where, what is important to them. That's a great thing.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've really learned in the past year. And also educating myself about different areas, the climate, social injustice, right? That all these different, it's affecting everything in our world, the rivers, the streams, and then knowing that we might think when we plant a seed that it didn't take root, but the truth is we don't know. We I might think I talked to that person, they didn't care one bit. Well, I don't know really what they're thinking. It's easy to say that, and they can just pretend. They might be pretending, right? But we don't know inside their heads what's really going on, or in their hearts, because it's a struggle, right? And if we're planting a seed, then it's almost like, wow, wait, what's going on here? And it might need, like a seed needs time to process and grow, and that's okay. Like, it's very easy for, I hear a lot of people saying, well, like, I didn't do anything, it didn't work, we weren't successful, or whatever. Well, we just don't know what people are thinking. and just to let go of that. We don't want to be mind readers anyway. Well, I mean, that would be boring if we could read everybody's minds.
Yeah, and one of the things I always have gone off of, not only in the since I've been vegan, but like in life in general, to use like the I messages, right, as they call them. Like, I don't ever say to someone, if they say, "Well, I could never give up cheese," my first thing is, I thought the same thing, you know. So you now put yourself in their shoes. Like, obviously, like, I think a lot of us thought, you know what, I that's one of my main things, you know, cheese, meat, that's what I grew up eating for all those years. So you do think, but you don't realize until you do it, that after, you know, and saying that to somebody instead of saying to them, I believe anyway, that would have helped me respond better than saying, yes you can, you know what I mean. You know, so it's a way.
Oh, yeah.
Diana said, we see all the health benefits of eating this way and want it for others, just as if a new saved person wants to spread the word. Yes, exactly. Oh, yeah, you did make it to a live. Welcome. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you coming. Um, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong. Is it Ata Gayal M? I don't know. I always see you online on my comments, but I think I'm pronouncing that way wrong. But thank you so much. Appreciate you joining the live. And she was just saying she made it to a live. But yeah, if you want to comment on what Diana said about we want to spread it to everyone we know.
I know we do. It's exciting. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, knowing how to spread it, right? When we get so excited and full of passion, it can be very overwhelming for people. So just doing slowly. That's why I said if I could reach the new vegans so that they're not like overwhelming people. But I mean, that's just part of life. How could we not want to share something so wonderful when we see what a big change we're making in the world? We want everyone to feel the health benefits and to help Mother Earth. I mean, who doesn't want that?
Do you see a lot of because I know, like, especially, like, it's a little bit different, I think, when somebody's trying to help someone with their health, and then when they come into this as ethical vegans, or you develop into it, that's when it starts to get really personal, and when people, I believe, get angry because people are like, I can eat what I want, but then the other person on the other side were thinking, yeah, but the animals are facing injustice. So, like, I think that's when things get a little touchy, when I see people arguing online, because, you know, again, I think sometimes we forget where we were in our level of consciousness, and they end up getting, like, that's how these arguments start, and people are like, oh, that's one of you know, there was a vegan that was mean to me online, or you're judgmental, you know what I mean? And then the whole movement, I feel like, you know, it becomes a war, us against them, and it's not that at all. It's like, we're just wanting to make the world a better place, and it comes off kind of the wrong way, I think, sometimes, depending on, like you said, that's why it's so important what you're doing, because we need to make sure that we're doing these things in the right way, so it's not counterproductive, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it can be very counterproductive. I mean, I can see why people don't want to use the word vegan because a lot of vegans are fighting this infighting. And that's what, for me, veganism is about love. And that isn't just love for vegans, it's love for pre vegans, it's love for everyone. So that's what we were talking about recently about if we exclude ourselves from if we only hang around with vegans, how are we going to change the world? We have to not only be nice to vegans, we have to be nice to pre-vegans also. And I like to use that word pre-vegans or pregans
I like that.
because right, we were that. It's so easy to say, well, you don't really love animals if you do this. So that's coming off as judgmental. No one wants to be judged, and then we're blocking them. No one wants
Mm-hmm.
to be shamed, shaming people. Hey, Muriel. Hey, everybody.
Hi, Ariel. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
But yeah, the
Thank-
shaming and the blaming is just shaming, blaming, judging. I mean, we might as well we're just throwing up roadblock after roadblock after roadblock Right. And so we've lost sight of the cause if we're doing that. We're more interested in being right than helping the animals. It's not. I mean, there's no right or wrong here. I mean, yes, there are moral issues here, but so how to give the message in a compassionate, loving way where the person feels understood and how we can help them. That's the right way to do it. Is to be kind. Always, did I leave the person feeling good about a vegan? I mean, did they feel good about veganism after I talked to them? Or did they feel like they were judged? Did they feel bad about themselves? We don't want people to feel bad about themselves. I see that all the time. Oh, yeah, well, they left with their tail between their legs. My gosh, that's not love. And
Not
for
what we
me,
want, right?
I know that's not veganism. Veganism to me is a pure form of love for all. And when this is a very spiritual experience for me too. It's expansive, right? It's not just about animals' health or, it's about this whole universe, the whole creation, every being connected to each other. They're not, everyone is connected to everything. There's no way when we harm one that we don't harm the rest.
Yeah, that's very true. And it's like, our first thing that we were ever compassionate with before we knew an animal was, obviously usually our mother, And I think that, if we look at it, like sometimes I'll be online and someone will say something that drives me absolutely crazy, like they'll just be really rude all of a sudden just because you mentioned the word vegan, and they don't know what person you are. Maybe they've had a bad experience with someone else. And it's like, I always try to think about how I would want my family to be treated, or someone I know, like, personally, a really good friend, because I wouldn't want somebody coming off at them, in a way like that, So I try to come across always, and that's just how I am naturally. And some people are more assertive and are combative just in nature, but I'm just not, like that. So of course, for me, it's been, I think, a little bit easier to not get into arguments, even if the person is trying to pick an argument. I think it's up to us to put our ego aside and understand that they're just um, I guess maybe confused about something they don't know, and they're, like I said, not where we are in our level. But that person may never change or may never adopt it. But the way that you say it at that very moment could be so important on whether they start to move closer to helping an animal or running further away and thinking they don't ever want to hear another thing about it. Because initially, no one wants to hear that what they may be doing, their comfort zone, their life. Like none of us really was ready to change like that, So when we became ready, we did it. And some people are like, it's urgent though. There's animals being abused and we have to get that, but we still have to do it in a way that's gonna help the movement move forward, to your point. So I love what you're talking about. It's so important.
Well, yeah, it makes a lot of sense what you're saying, with being kind, like your family. Considering, I mean, how do you want your family to be treated, and bringing all this compassion into speaking to others. I mean, we have to do it that way, and that doesn't mean we're wimps.
Yeah.
It mean, that doesn't mean that we say that it's okay to harm animals. No. And if somebody says I can't give up cheese, right? I mean, we can still be understanding, like, hey, I love cheese. And then I thought that too, right? That's understanding and kind, but still saying now I mean, a lot of times I make my own cheese. They're great cheeses. We can
Yeah.
still use our voices. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, I love that. I just chimed in there because when you said you make your own cheese, that's even better. Because not only have you told them you used to love cheese, so you identified with them, but you even gave them a recipe to make it, and that's because you're a cook. See, I would have gave them the name of the brands in the store that I like, right? But there
Well,
are
I don't
some
know.
really good whole food plant based cheeses like cashew, isn't that like, so, like, yeah, give them some examples and some ideas to show them how you could connect them from A to B. I love that. Not just, well, there's good other kinds of cheese, and storming off. That's not going to help, right?
Right. No, it's not. And even if they don't want to hear it right now, that's okay because you just don't ever know. I mean, we probably so many of us used to say I could never be vegan. I used to think vegans were crazy, right? I used to think vegetarians were crazy. I mean, first I thought I would never be vegetarian. And then here I am, 20, 30 years later, right? Doing this live stream and working with vegans. So you just don't ever know. I mean, my gosh, all the ways that I've changed. People used to say, well, you must have been rescuing dogs in college and doing all this and animals. No, I wasn't. I didn't care about any of that in college. Who I was I was out there trying to get dates and trying to go to parties and trying to be cute and changing myself and bending myself into any way I could to be attractive, to someone. And then that would flop. And then I would try to pretend to be someone else and that would flop, but now I don't have to pretend to be anyone, right? I'm myself. And that's the transformation process. I mean, it is what it is. And it took years to get here to be comfortable with who I am and not to have to make up or pretend. And now I know not everybody's going to like me. And that's part of life. If I think everyone's going to like me and that, if that's going to destroy me if they don't, well, I better, I'm just going to have to keep working on these lessons of life. And you know so that's it. I mean, be authentic to yourself, know who you are, know what you're living for, right? So many of us don't know what we're living for. I think for vegans we do know. A lot of us know what we're living for, right? I mean, we're living for change, but many people are on autopilot. They've disconnected with animals and the planet and the trees and the sun. This is the time to step up for humanity. And that's what veganism again is for me, is love for all. That means love for trees, love for every blade of grass, right? Every shining star, every drop of water from the rain and the heavens. So anyway, that's my rant.
Plant rant. I love it. We should do a show called Plant Rant, right? Um, that's a beautiful way to look at things, and I think if that were how we could all like look at things, like look at the whole goal of what we're trying to reach, because like what you said about that evolution of where you were, like where we all were probably coming out of our teens, or into our teens, even where we're like all over the place, we don't know who we are, what we want to be. We've got people telling us we need to do this and you should do that. You need to go to school, you need to go to college. And then you evolve into this other person who is really trying to find yourself. You think you know who you are in the 20s, but you're still, and then you get to this point. I think being vegan is the same way. We go through these stages, right? Like when you start out, there's a certain way that you think, and you might only know this limited amount of information, but yet you think just like you do when you turn like into a teenager. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I know everything there is to know, and then I realized, oh wait, there's a lot still that I don't know. And then even I've evolved from just so many different phases of this through all of the different ways I've explored the diet, to my thinking, to finding out all this new information. So we can't expect somebody to go, to your point, from where we were when I thought vegan meant don't eat cheese, to now knowing it's a lifestyle of doing the least harm. And I don't think a lot of people understand. They think it's just a diet, and that's what I thought it was. I thought, I didn't even know there was words for whole food, plant-based, and vegan. I think I did a live stream once on all the different ways and what they technically mean, but we can call ourselves whatever we want. But to your point, we shouldn't be afraid to say the word vegan, which means compassion and love for all animals in the planet. Why are we now like, I've heard people say that they won't say that they're vegan. They'd rather say they're, and I get it because it adds some kind of connotation. Like you said, you were like, I thought vegans were crazy. And I'm like, well, now you probably know they are now that you've met me, but I'm just kidding. But it's interesting now that how that has happened over time. And what do you think has caused that? Really, is it not having the right type of kind of conversations?
Well, there's a lot of infighting. Is that what you mean about what the word vegan? I mean,
Yeah,
people see
like
vegans fighting.
I see
Yeah,
vegan, the word vegan. Some people don't want to use the word vegan. What do you think causes that?
right. Well, a lot of people think it's a cult. They think that vegans are crazy. Vegans are very aggressive. So, but yeah, there's a lot of reasons. I think vegans want to change, to want force their beliefs on you. They want to change the way you eat. They want to make me feel guilty. A vegan's going to make me feel bad, and that's the whole thing. Because see, once you look at what you've been eating, and you realize this is the way I've been eating. So then you have to deal with, I've been hurting animals my whole life and I didn't know it. Like if you say that to your parents, like we bring that to your parents and now your parents are thinking, oh my gosh, did I not feed my child in a, in with food that is healthy food, real food, right? Because that's a big dilemma that would be going on in a parent's mind, if the child is saying, well, this is the way to eat, then you've been feeding your children, those whatever those things are called, TV dinners or just those quick meals. You have to face that. Maybe I wasn't doing it right, and there's a lot of guilt there
But
that
I think
people have to deal with.
to your point, and that's when the compassion for yourself comes in, because we're all doing the best we can. I know, I loved myself, for the most part. I loved everyone that was around me, and my parents loved me, but like it doesn't mean that they weren't doing what they were told to do, the right thing at the time, and are still told. I mean, that's the one of the biggest issues that we're trying to combat here. You might go to your medical doctor and say, "Hey, great news! I'm plant-based now. I've lost 10 pounds." I wouldn't do that if I were you, he might say, because, you're not going to get enough B12. Okay, well, that's why uh, there's supplement for B12, you don't have to have it from an animal. And there's, plenty of nutrients, or you're not going to get protein. That's the one. That's the one you'll hear the
Right,
most. It's
protein.
like, yeah, but there's, we're made of protein. Everything is protein, right? So, everything is energy. And I think people think that there's like one nutrient for this. And like, but my point was, before I go rambling, there was, you might still be getting that information. So there's parents that are told, don't feed your kids too many fruits, or don't feed your kids too many vegetables, because they need this amount of meat still. I mean, it's still in our food guidelines that you need eggs or something like that. So it, even with all the information we know, and you and me have probably read, and everybody in this chat probably who's vegan, if you're not like brand new vegan, which I hope there are, because I love working with new vegans, because I feel like it's such an inspiring time for me to see them on that journey of change and experimenting with foods. And it just, I mean, it's almost like more joy that I could get getting a gift delivered to my door is hearing somebody say, hey, guess what? I lost 10 pounds and I'm improving my health. And I know for you, watching them evolve as an advocate too, and using your coaching to say, hey, guess what? I went into my community and got a potluck started, or whatever, like it's really cool to watch that. And like, that was I think your point you made before is we can't just hang out with other vegans and inspire that change too. Where I get why people do it though. I also see the point, it's very difficult sometimes, and I see that they just decide, you know what, if you don't want to, be on my side with this, I don't want to. And it depends like who their circle is, because some people are really mistreated and are somebody's dangling meat in front of their face, obviously I
Right.
wouldn't want to be around that either. So it depends, like there's a lot of gray areas, but for the most part, that's why I love doing things like this, because it reaches a lot of people and lets them know, like, hey, we just want to show you what we know, not push you, in any direction.
Right, exactly. And you're right. You're exactly right about there's a lot of gray areas. I hang out with pre-vegans, and my friends that are pre-vegan are very respectful. I wouldn't hang out with someone that was just continually tormenting me or making fun of me or jabbing me, about meat and stuff. No, I wouldn't. And and there are times when I do hang out, like when we had at the Universal Unitarian Church, the vegan Thanksgiving. So there are times when I do hang out with only vegans, but then there's a balance, right? I think it's very important. And then if you can't eat with vegans, I mean, that's fine. I mean, you have to do ultimately what's best for you and take care of yourself. But I mean, but you could still have interactions with them that are not at the dinner table, right? Where you're still living your message. You are the message. Now, I remember Christopher Eubanks saying that, that his presence was the message, right? And also, I remember hearing that like yesterday at church. Reverend Richard was saying, are you telling the message, or is it your whole being that's the message? And I say it's my whole being that's the message. I don't have to always use my voice. So
Yep.
that's what I encourage everyone in 2024, right?
I love it. Let your whole being be your voice. That's really good. Like example, right? Like when we sit down at the table and we're eating something that looks really good, like if are eating like a plant-based recipe that you may have brought from home, like say to your work, and someone says, "Oh, that looks good." You could even start telling them what it is, like, "Hey, yeah, this is really good. I made this, you know, this rice and bean dish or whatever you want to say, or this vegan burger that this is actually really good. Maybe next time I could, when we all get together, I could bring this or whatever and let you try it, or here's the recipe if you want to try it. Well, the reason I eat it is because it doesn't have as much saturated fat and cholesterol as regular meat. So, I don't know. I started
Right.
hearing an echo. Is it for me? But yeah, like, and there's a way you can say it, and that might bring something in their head because hey, they might not want to be feeding their family. They might have just been to the doctor the day before and got that they need to go on medication for their cholesterol, and you might have hit that person at the right time. So I feel like some people. There's a joke that goes around and says, I think I saw Jeff post it before. It says, um, if you're wondering if I'm going to tell you I'm vegan, I am. Because like sometimes it's like we can't help but put it in a conversation, but it's like there was one more thing I wanted to hear your thoughts on too. I think when you finally come to a certain place with this, you realize that it's the person and the people that I want to connect with, not what they're eating all the time. And so much of our life is focused around food that like it used to be anyway in my life when I'd go to the family, it was like, okay, the first thing when you walk in, okay, grab a plate, get the potatoes. And it was like a source of like how we all came together. So I think that hurts sometimes the whole vibe until they get used to you being vegan, because now you want to just give them a hug and you want to sit down and talk to them, and you're going to eat what you eat but they're going to eat what they eat, and that disconnects us. But like in a way it can really connect us for the real stuff, the real reasons, not we're just now discussing what we're eating, but we're now able to really engage with people and get and understand them and where they're coming from. And I think that's what sets a lot of vegans, that makes things uncomfortable, is because people always want you to eat what they're eating. It's almost like a
Right.
way that people connect.
Yeah, I know. And then, I mean, it's important not to let the food get in the way of still the love and then your family. I mean, I know it breaks my heart that people hate their mothers. I know that I saw many posts from vegans saying, I'm not giving my mother anything on Mother's Day.
Oh,
And I know it's like my mother never was vegan, and she she was a vegan advocate. She raised me, she helped me be who I am. So she never was vegan, and she did eat. I mean, she didn't eat that much vegan, but she ate more vegan because of me. And my dad ate more vegan because of, yeah, same thing. Me and my brother, and so I don't think they're horrible people. And I didn't, we did do the best. Even time we'd sneak my dad, like he'd say, "Don't bring me back a, you know, a vegan burger or whatever," and we'd sneak it, and he wouldn't know. But
I
but
love
we still love him. I know, huh? And you just have to understand everyone is different. It's easy to say that it's so simple. Once you know how animals are being tortured, you can go vegan like that. Well, it's not that easy for people with food addictions. That's a whole nother ball game, right? That this addictions that we're the food is very addictive, meat is very addictive, cheese is very addictive, and seeing we're just overwhelmed by billboard advertisements about meat and when you're used to eating that way you're very drawn to it and it can be very hard. So what might be easy for one person might be just take years for another, and it breaks my heart because some people really want to change. I mean, that's the same thing like with diet, right? I mean, let's say you're 200 pounds overweight or even 50 pounds or 25 and you want to lose it but you can't because you're just addicted to it. So do we judge them and make fun of them and be mean to them, or do we help them?
I think we judge them and make no, 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 that's not right. I thought this was trivia. I was giving the wrong answer to make sure everybody called me out. No, but really, what I wanted to say when you were talking about family is It's really exciting for me because there's a couple of people here in this chat that I am like amazed. Like you and your brother are both vegan, so that's two people in the same family. Muriel and Michelle, who's also on a lot of the live streams, their mother and daughter both are vegan and close to being all raw. I think even now vegan on their health journey. And Diana, plant based. I just met her daughter Rachel recently, who's going to be coming on and interviewing with me. She's now vegan, um, and I think she may have gotten the idea, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, from Diana setting that example, right? So, I think is what we talked about. And I'm like so proud of these guys because, like, hear that, mom, sister? Can you hear it if you're watching? You guys have to come vegan. Don't you want to be in the mother daughter sister brother club with me? But yeah, like, and I've been advocating for it for many years, and I feel like I'm close sometimes with them, and when they're here they do eat the vegan food and they like it, but people get into their own environment. We have to understand it's a different world than what I may be living in. If you have a family and you've got like all these people in your house and you're trying to navigate what to cook and people don't want to hear it and you're trying to eat a certain way, I get that. Like I'm lucky it was just me and Dawn, and I would sit there with my big salads and my little vegan concoctions, and she would sit there with her regular food but it didn't last very long. I mean, at some point she was like, okay, look at what's going on with you. Like, okay, I'm jealous. What is going on? You look like you are so happy to be eating that. Like, how is that even possible? So I'm like, it can happen if we just continue to set that example, right? And um oh, real quick, my granddaughters and great grandson. Oh my gosh, that's great, Muriel. That is awesome. And I think, didn't you tell me, Diana, if you're still here, she might have had to jump off, but she was telling me one of her grandkids is exploring more plant-based options too. And she was like, oh, I think on the stream, she was like, but I gave her vegan nuggets. I'm like, hey, whatever works, right? We're trying to make changes. So they have to ease into it,
She did say
right?
that. Yeah, she did say that in our group.
Yes, that's where it was. Yep, in our cool little New Year's celebration. That was really, really cool. Speaking of that, do you have anything coming up that people might be able to, join in with you, or like, I know we'll talk about it again, but how can they reach out to you? Because doesn't Mariquita's voice, isn't it so calming? Like sometimes if I'm just like, having a stressful day and like or someone may have just said something, or I'm upset that someone's not, they're not plant based, but I hear of a health issue, like whatever it is, I can vent it out and then like you can hear it. Like it's nice to know someone positive sometimes, because we need to vent it out, but then our conversations always end up on a positive tone, like, so that's what's really cool.
Right. That is so interesting because we're always lighthearted. And I think that's the difference, right? I mean, even if it's even if we're sad or depressed or whatever, I mean, we always see that light, and we kind of we don't ever get ourselves too down, because we already know that life is going to be hard, like the Dalai Lama says. And I say this all the time. Once you know that, then once you know that things aren't going to go your way, and that not everybody's going to like you, and that you're going to have some struggles, then you can laugh at it and you can say, okay, this is a bump in the road. Maybe it's a big bump, right? Maybe I don't know where I'm going to live, in the next 2 months. Maybe I don't know where, I'm going to, I don't know how I'm going to get to this place or that place or this place, but discovery, that's feminine energy, right? The feminine energy is going to save the world, discovering, wondering, how are we going to change the world?
I love it.
Like Diana's doing.
Diana, and yes, her 8-year-old. That is awesome. Yeah, she is really go and like her YouTube channel, Diana Varner Plant Based. She has a new YouTube, and so Mariquita, I have her links there in the description. Mariquita has a YouTube channel too, where she does like really cool interviews. But then the ones I love are those impromptu little lives that you do, which are cool. Like a lot of times in the mornings, to announce maybe a live stream, and sometimes she just will come on and like inspire us for the day, because it's important to start your day off like that on a good note. So definitely go to the YouTube, and your group is called Vegan and wait a minute, Voices. I get them all mixed up. Mother Earth.
Yeah, I'll do it. Let me say
You
it.
say it.
It's empowered. It's good. It's long. Empowered vegan voices of Mother Earth. Wait, voices of strength from Mother Earth. Empowered vegans, voices of strength from Mother Earth. See, even I'm getting it wrong.
I totally. I'll have that on a little note card next time, so I don't mess it up that bad. I knew all the words that were in it. I just didn't put them in the right order. Right? It was an unscramble for
Well,
you.
I didn't either.
Um,
That's
that's
Facebook
Facebook, right?
group.
Facebook and YouTube. And I know you have. Don't you have something coming up where you have like a course coming up, or is that later on down the line?
At the end of the month, I'm starting another group
Group
coaching.
coaching.
The last Wednesday, yeah, in January, I'm starting a group coaching program every week, and it's going to be it's an hour and a half, and it's really centered around animal wisdom. And so I'm really studying about earth wisdom too. So I'm bringing in animal wisdom, earth wisdom, how we can be strong vegans for our planet using animals as our role models, right? And we did that a little bit in the New Year's celebration, and I've been really focusing on that more this year. So, learning from animals, how can they hold the key to peaceful living and to taking care of our earth.
That is good. Can you just give oh, congratulations. And her mom is also dairy free. Muriel has the whole family vegan. I need you to come show me how you did that. I'll be like, Muriel is coming to show you guys how to be vegan. I didn't do it right. So we need her to get on there. See how inspiring you are, Muriel? One day I'm gonna get her up here. She keeps promising me to come on, but we'll see. Even Michelle, her daughter, came on, and I knew Muriel first. How'd that happen? Um, but so can you explain like an example? I know we're shifting gears a little bit, but I think this is important on how we can navigate our vegan journey to feel empowered. Though, like, can you choose one animal and then kind of just like how you incorporate when you say animal wisdom into how we can be better as vegans?
One animal
Advocates.
that I keep picking out. I mean, really, really, that resonates with me, and I think it resonates with a lot of vegans. I think this animal's wisdom really is someone we can learn from. It's the gorilla, because the gorilla is very strong, right? She will say she. So she knows. I mean, she doesn't
Poor
want to
Jane.
fight. Doesn't fight. Yeah. So she doesn't want to fight. She doesn't want to have to engage in that, but she knows her boundaries, and she stands strong, and she lets people know. She lets other animals know, hey, don't cross this line, right? I'm not afraid, and I don't want to fight you, but I want you to know that this is the line that you're not going to cross. So she stands strong, and she's confident, if we could have that gorilla mindset, right? That I know what my boundaries are, I'm going to implement them, and I'm going to stand with confidence, and I'm going to be proud of myself. What a way to start off. I mean, this is what my coaching programs are for, is to get you out of this sadness and depression and thinking nobody's listening to me, but be like a gorilla and get strong and stand strong like she does and be ready, right? Hey, be confident and live your message like she does. Like, or I'll say he, like he does too, right? I don't want to snub any male gorillas. So, yeah, stand like he does, and and be proud of yourself, but hold those boundaries strong, and don't feel guilty. They don't feel guilty. The animal kingdom doesn't ruminate over how they messed up or their failures or nobody paid. They live in the moment, in the now. And when we really pay attention to our animal brothers and sisters and learn from them, we can uh, build our vegan confidence, and it's fun to do that, right? We picked cards the other night in our New Year's celebration, animal wisdom cards, and we learned from all those cards and the animals. So it's beautiful when really we can really tune in. So I was imagining there was a meditation. I go to the energy healers at my church, and so one of them was working on me, and I had my eyes closed. And then I saw this giraffe, because I was picturing the strength and the vision of a giraffe. And then I saw wings on the giraffe, right? So now I made a little image of a giraffe with wings, like this expansive vision, but also flying. Nothing's holding her back. So that's another animal that I resonate with, right? Yes, this half giraffe, half butterfly.
Oh, that's cool. And I think what you said too, where earlier we were joking and like we're not wimps just because we're not like, being absolutely forceful about our message to want to like help others and help animals. But like the gorilla, what you mentioned, that's like a very strong animal. But if you've ever seen them interact with each other or their babies, they're so kind and compassionate. A side note too, the bonobo is actually the most similar digestive physiology of the human, but I always go into that with nutrition, so it's funny you picked gorilla too, because yeah, like that is like that's a great metaphor to give, like especially like you said for women too, because just because we're kind and compassionate, it takes a while to learn that balance, especially I think as a new vegan too, because you want to like you have your convictions, you've learned all this and you want to stand strong, like don't tell, I know how I want to eat now. So you're also trying not to be swayed because you're still in that early stage of where somebody could put something there and you're in front of you that you probably used to eat and it might tempt you. So like finding that balance. I know as I got older, like you were talking about coming out of your 20s, I had to really find a way to stand up for myself or to be a little bit more assertive, but not yet also go the other way, which it wouldn't have been easy for me to do that anyway. But like I would almost not say anything. Like if I were in line and three people could butt in front of me, like it was a joke with my mom, I'd just let them go. And I'm like, it's okay, I'm not in a hurry. And my mom's like, no, let them know you were in line. You can, and like Dawn said, I found a way to do it in a Jen way where I'm not going to, I think we talked about this once before, where I can now say like, hey, sorry to bother you. I know you're busy, but I think, I just want to make sure everything's okay. I've been waiting a little while, or is there anyone up here to help me, instead of just, I'll just let them never wait on me, But I also am a kind of person who didn't want to ever make somebody feel bad or like they weren't, doing enough. So it was kind of like I found a way to be kind yet still make a point. And I think, and stand up for what I believed in. And I think that's what I use online. And I think you really, embody that too when you're helping people because you always give the concern first because we have that care about people and their feelings and ease into it with that rather than just being right. Like it's not about right or wrong sometimes when people's feelings are involved too.
Exactly. All right. And what you're talking about, it's as women, when you talk about women, we're not taught to really express ourselves. We're really in this society, it's a very patriarchal society. So we're really repressed with our voices, and I know I was supposed to keep quiet as a child. So to come out of that and to learn a different way, and we're also judged about our appearance, right? Never pretty enough, never skinny enough, right? So we have these all these underlying issues of the I'm not enough belief, right? And I'm invisible. I got to stay back because my voice isn't important. So this is really about helping the feminine be heard, right? The feminine again is going to heal the world. I don't remember who said that. Maybe it was the Dalai Lama. I'm not sure, but the feminine energy, the voice, the feminine voice has to be heard, and she has to be loved, and we can nurture our own and heal our own wounds of I'm not enough and I'm invisible, and these wounds that we carry along because we are brought up that way to really be repressed in this patriarchal society of like one on top of each other, right? This linear like society where one is upping the other, and the feminine energy is about coming together. We all help each other, and it's not stepping on each other to get somewhere, that patriarchal way. No, this is about creating unity so we all rise up.
That is very well said. When you can you explain, because I know you also have a lot of experience with like at least I think you told me this, you began like you were I don't know what it was called, right? Is it feminine empowerment coach or instead of
Yeah,
vegan, but
feminine wisdom. Yeah,
was
I
it
studied feminine wisdom, right? With the feminine feminine empowerment coaching. Yes, and that's what this is based on. What I'm talking about is the repression of women. So I mean, really using the feminine, which is discovery. Like we can use the feminine energy, the discovery. When I talk to you pre-vegans, what are they, what do they need? Where can I meet them? Where can I meet them where they're at, right? Instead of what am I trying to force down their throats? Like the masculine energy is from A to Z, linear. I say this, you do this. The feminine is about learning and discovering, and it's beautiful. It's a flow.
just to be clear too, like even men, when we're talking about this, they have both of those energies too, and they have to balance it, I think, too, because they have almost like the opposite going on of we have, where we're wanting to speak up and we're told we have to. And then sometimes guys, like especially in vegan men, I don't know if you've ever worked with a lot of men too, but I feel like one of their challenges is that the men look at them as they're not being masculine because meat makes you masculine. And then you have like Jeff Palmer, he always comes to mind, or like now Lawrence, who's in our group, who's has all these muscles, and and not that you need muscles to be masculine, but it's almost like that's a prime example of a guy who says, well, you won't be able to be strong like a man if you don't eat meat. And then you have men who are vegan, and like I think there's those that balance of each trying to be compassionate but yet stand firm on what you believe, and that like balance of it. And I think that's what you're teaching with the animal wisdom. Even animals have both. There's just so many things that each animal can teach us. There's so many things nature can teach us, like you've talked about. I remember you were telling me an example of like, was it a like you were just like a lot of times out in nature you'll see things that remind you of how we can be, like how the trees like sway in the wind, but they don't go against it, but they go with it. Like sometimes we have to do that. Like you have to like the seeds we were talking about, even planting a seed and growing it. There's no way you can plant the seed and be like it should be a tree by now. It's like it's gonna take that time to
Like, what's
grow.
wrong with you?
People are the same way. When you look at it like that, it really helps you move people along in a progression. Like it's okay if it takes a little bit of time, because it's better than just stomping on the seed and getting mad at it.
Right. I know. Who plants a seed and then screams at it to grow, and gets mad? I mean, some grow and some don't. They grow at their own pace. But yeah, and we all need feminine and masculine energy, different times. We have to be aware of when is the best time to call on our feminine and when's the best time to call on our masculine energy. So it is a balance, and nature is very full of balance, which is beautiful. Nature, she knows how to thrive. It's and then we're throwing her out of balance.
Mhm.
So it's up to us to empower ourselves to be the best version of ourselves, to let go of playing small and to step into power. And that's really my mission, is to help vegans that aren't feeling empowered to get there for the animals' sake, right? Get there for the planet's sake. Let me help you get rid of these limiting beliefs and step into your the real belief, which is you're an amazing gift to this world, right? The universe is for you. Look at the gifts of the universe every single day. I see trees outside and I say, hello, beautiful trees, right? I see you're standing with me. I know they are helping me. I know they support me and I support them, right? I'm not alone. I see those beautiful beings and I acknowledge them. And this might sound hokey, but I don't really care.
It doesn't, not at all to me. I think it sounds great. Like it sounds beautiful. Like gratitude is something I've experienced more of since I've been vegan for the last 5 years. Like I've always been thankful. I feel like I say thank you more, and I appreciate other people's talents and their success and their, more, even in, like, even if it doesn't have anything to do with vegan, and I just look at everything differently. Like the whole world to me looks different. There's a lot of things that look different in a way that makes me sad because I see now outside of the matrix what's happening. But and then I see sometimes how it's, this information is hidden, but it's not that we have to be sad. What we're doing is it makes you less sad and more grateful to be able to help people and to put it out there. So if you're someone who's, feeling like there's nothing you can do, like I don't like being on YouTube, I don't like showing myself, there might be a way you can write a blog, right? And do something if you want to feel that change. Or you might be like you are, like you're an artist too, so like you might want to draw and share the message. Like, is that part of what you do? I think you've told me is you help people to find that voice and where they can, fit into helping the movement, because I think we all want to feel like we're doing something. And you and me joke about we never feel like we're doing enough, even though we're running around, working a few jobs and online and pushing it. But like, is that another, well, we could go into that too, not feeling like you're doing enough.
Yeah.
But
Right. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. But we are enough, right? We are enough. But yeah, no, helping people find, connect with themselves. That's again goes back to that who am I, right? What is the gift that, like, if we let it be not any more about ego, but like what has the universe, what's the gift the universe gave me? And how, and it's my duty to give that back to the universe. I've been blessed with something. And what is it that I deserve, that the universe is asking of me as her child, right? To step into this power and be all that I can be, because she gave me this beautiful gift, and not to play small with it. And then, I know people that say, well, I can't say this because I'm going to sound arrogant. You don't even have to say that. You can say, hey, the reason I have all these followers, it's not my doing. It's because of God or great spirit, right? Or whatever you want to say. The universe gave it to me. I don't have to take the credit, but I can say, yes, I am a shining star because of, whatever you believe in, right?
yeah.
If even if you don't believe in anything, just say, I don't know, say what resonates with you. So it doesn't have to be about arrogance. In fact, I encourage it not to be about arrogance. I encourage it to be about connection with all living things, that I'm a beautiful, on this earth, shining her light to the world, because that's my duty. And I see how beautiful I am, and I'm going to shine it because it helps other people. And that's not about me. I'm here to help others.
And I think most of us as vegans are very different in the reason we ask for more, like, subscribers, and maybe not different than others. But what I mean is, like, my goal is, I'm not trying to be this big, YouTube star. What I'm trying to do is get these kind of messages out to more people. So like when you click like and when you subscribe to our channels and when you join our programs or whatever that we're trying to do, it really does, and share the information with others, it really does spread it to help more people. Like I know like every time I see a video that resonates with me, I immediately like share it to the group because it might be somebody that I just came across that I really enjoyed their message, or I might not be someone like, me with my fruit thing here, fruit journey or whatever you want to call it. My fruit right now, it might not be something that I'm making vegan pizza, but like when I see a vegan pizza recipe, I know there's lots of people on my group who would love that. So like even if it's not something that resonates with you, but you think it might resonate with your friend or your neighbor or someone, share it with them, because you never know what's going to get in that might be something that could take, like, I don't know how you heard about this the first time, if you even, it just happened over time. But like for me, it was a very specific YouTube video that opened my eyes just a little bit to what vegan even was, or what there was even a whole diet around not cooking food and eating raw vegetables and fruits. Like I didn't even know that as up until that time. Like I mean, I thought just everybody ate salads with their meals. Like I didn't know people actually, I didn't, like you said, I didn't know what vegan was, and I still didn't even after I started the diet. And I learned that later on. So like that one little thing that you could open up to people's eyes to could change their health, could change their life, could develop a whole living, or their whole, really their world, make them feel somebody who's accepted and help them get to another level. So like if you go to Mariquita's channel, even if she's talking about empowering yourself or loving yourself, sharing that video might help somebody who's struggling with depression. It's like any way you can do it, even if you're not wanting to like advocate yourself or go on and put yourself out there, you can always share all the other information. There's tons of stuff on YouTube, and you still are helping people and helping animals, I think.
Well, that's a good point, I think. I mean, the more subscribers, the more money, the more whatever, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong. I mean, having to go against these beliefs of having money is evil. I mean, that's money and
Well,
subscribers
then I'm the
getting the
least
voice
evil
out.
person if it means money.
So we want to make money because the more money we make, right, the more we can help the world, right? We have very good intentions here. We want definitely hit subscribe, and I think this is going to my YouTube channel too. Um, but the main thing is like we help each other, right? Who can we help today mindfully? Who can we get up and be kind to today? And this is all about mindful living, right? It's all about unity again. But back to what veganism is to me, love, and love means unity for all, unity, kindness for all, not just those that I think are deserving, right? I'm not in their shoes. I don't know what it's like. I don't know their struggles. It's easy for me to sit in this chair and say, oh, well, you can give this up or you can change this way. I don't know what they're going through. And just like you were talking about, I have a friend that has to cook for a whole family and they are very picky, and she wants to be healthy more than anything. She's exhausted. She's exhausted. So my heart goes out to her. It's a struggle for her.
Yeah, I think that's important too, like you said. And I want everybody to do well, right? Like sometimes people, I forget what I was listening to, but somebody used to say this, like some people think when it comes to money, if they're making money, I can't make money, or if they get subscribers, I can't. I want you to blow up and have 1 million subscribers because I know your message is great. It's, there, this vegan world within it, even within ourselves, whether we're, vegan advocates for the animals, or we're plant-based chefs, or we're, somebody who just has like a vegan business who sells vegan t-shirts, or we're somebody who, is just online trying to put the message out there. If you're vegan, raw vegan, whole food, plant-based cooking, and like everything, it's like if we can all support each other and put our all of each other's information out there, think about how many more people we could touch, um, and really like open this up to the mainstream, because that's one of the things that's really frustrating, that you see so much stuff on TV, like pharmaceutical commercials and meat commercials, and like once in a while it would just be so nice to be listening to one of our TV shows that we watch and on regular TV, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there and all of a sudden you hear like a whole food plant-based diet could be, the the way that you can help animals and save your health, and like more at 11. I never hear that, or
I
I wouldn't give it
know.
11, so let's make it a 9. More at 9. But
No, you have a good point.
oh, what did let me read that message. My eyes, I have to enlarge it. I will do an interview with you, Jen, soon. My goal is to be at 195, and I'm at 8.8 pounds away. That's great for my challenge of going on with you. Oh, I'm even part of the challenge. That's right. I might have to ask Michelle to join us for support. Yeah, everybody can come. Bring the whole family. Bring dairy free mom and Michelle. We'll have like what do you call it, like vegan family interviews. Get the whole
That would
family
be fun.
to come on with JJ and Mariquita, right? But yeah, that's really cool. Like, and Muriel, while she's up here, well, up here on the comments, she is also really, really a blessing. She shares, and Diana, I know too. Muriel's always sharing everybody else's, content, and like really like supportive, and our group pages. She'll post things on them, and that's so important to have that interaction, too. And I'm excited for you two to also meet, and I think you'll really enjoy her. Hopefully you go and click on Marquita's group and her YouTube, because you're a great person to have as an advocate for us and for change, and then for yourself, the health things and the way you've changed your family. Like I was just talking, uh is that Adagal? Maybe I'm saying it the wrong way, but she always, even though she's not on the live, she comes and comments on the video. And I know like that's so important for us. That helps us get in the algorithm. If you like a video and you comment on it, it really helps more people see that message. And you've interviewed so many good people, like plant-based doctors, and other people who are like you, who help people with their become advocates, and other animal advocates. So I really like, enjoy your content, and I think that's one of the things I would do it because I support you, like, as a friend I would come on there, but I really enjoy it, so I'm like, it's even like double good, because it's really, really cool. So I just look, I'm all in this grateful mode. I'm going to ramble on thanking everybody for like 10 hours here.
Well, no, it's true. And when we help each other, there's plenty to go around. I did a class with my friend Lucy Millette, and she was also in the Feminine Wisdom program with me. And we studied the book It's Not Your Money, and I thought, what does that even mean? It's not your money. But what I learned was it's the universe's money. Everything belongs to the universe. And when we are able to see that it's not ours, that we don't have to hold on to things so tightly, we let it go to be someone else's, and we let something go, then we are open up to something coming in, and it's flow. I mean, talking about feminine energy flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And saying, I'm not holding on to everything. I'm open. I want JJ to do her best, right? I want Muriel to do her best. And I want Diana, and I want everyone to do their best, right? It's like I'm not in competition with anyone, right? Because there's plenty to go around, and that's gratitude and prosperity, right? And that was a great class, and to understand it's a whole new concept of like, what do you mean it's not my money? I've got to hold on to every dime.
Exactly.
It's peaceful, very peaceful when you learn there's enough for everyone.
Mm-hmm. It really takes, I mean, we don't need to put any extra stress than we already have on ourselves in our daily life, right? Like, stressing about what somebody else is doing in an uninspiring way is like not productive at all. And Oh, Muriel said very good. She enjoyed the spirit animal and cards. Yeah, just that was like it was a confidential thing. It was on Zoom because we were all really talking about our personal things. So we also appreciated that our struggles from what we were talking about. But just to kind of summarize it, like what she had was an event. It was 2 hours, I think, long, right? Last week, last
Hmm.
Thursday, I think. And she brought a lot of us together on this, and it was kind of like to explore the New Year's, and everyone got to pick the cards, and we were like basically our spirit animal is what we had to pick a number. That's what it was. And me and Diana tried to pick the same one because our birthday's coming up both on the 15th. No gifts necessary, just an extra share of a video, right? That's what I'm going to ask for this year. Share your
Yeah,
favorite interview for my birthday. But
that's
like
funny.
the cool thing is that really like resonated because even if it wasn't like that it was your animal, let's just say, but like I heard other people's animals, and when you read the connection with that, I'm like, wow, like that, I think you did rhino, and like all these animals had something that they could teach us, like it was really cool because sometimes we get caught up hustle and bustle and forget to think about things like that, forget to slow ourselves and really focus on like this is what the energy of the earth can teach us. And like I used to be as a kid, I was kind of a tomboy, and like I probably would have been like, I'm not going to meditate, and I'm not going to, I don't need to do that. And then when you get to like your 40s, you're like, yeah, I do. Because I feel like you go for like your hormones make you feel like you're going half crazy. So I'm like, yeah, I need to, take some time to really get back into that. And I know that's part of the 2024 journey that I have to kind of get time for myself to exercise, to put aside like sometimes just take time for myself, maybe get into some medication. Yeah, if meditation doesn't work, I'll go to the medication. But and I started the fruit journey, and I always feel like so calm and grateful on that journey, like it definitely and I think that's a good way to cleanse yourself. Diet makes so much difference of how we feel. And like we were touching on this with um, Fahad about how the animal, their fear and their emotions can just make a difference without even thinking about our mind, but just it can make a difference in what we eat because we're not eating all of that, when. And a lot of people say whether it's fruit or just whole plant-based food in general, it helps your like calmness and your what am I trying to say here? You know what I mean? Like it helps your whole emotional state by not putting that in your body.
Exactly. I mean, it's all connected. And then that fear is going to every cell of your body. So, I mean, how does that affect your body?
Exactly. James said sweet earlier.
James.
I think that was a delay. I put up that a little bit late. He thought something was really sweet. Well, thank you
That's
for being here to support Mariquita. That was
Yeah, he
all.
and I are doing a lot of things. We're doing we're learning about forest bathing. We're going to be leading people out in the forest. James does sound journeys. He's like Don, an amazing drummer and musician. And then we're going to be doing laughter yoga because we don't laugh enough. So, I mean, this is all
Laughter
connected to
yoga.
healing.
That sounds so cool.
Like laugh like a little child. Right. Or that maybe that was like an old lady. Who knows? Or laugh like a donkey. I don't know how a donkey laughs, right? But it's all fun. Like we don't have time for fun anymore in our society. And so that's really again connecting with the soul and just being silly. Like that's what I love about you, JJ. You're very silly. But
Very
no, I feel like I'm very silly too.
Oh,
It's
that's
like a
too
good
silly,
combo.
right? All the puns, right? You sometimes have to, people have to stop me from being, but I think it really helps because, lightening the mood can be one of the things that can change someone's whole trajectory of their day. People are so intense, and it's like having that little joke, even at like work, or, I've had people tell me that it definitely, like, I needed to hear that right now. Like, let me just get out of my own head and laugh for a minute. So the laughter yoga really, sounds interesting. And that it just you just start laughing. Like, is that how it works?
Well, yeah, it's I
What
mean,
else
because
about
when
the
you
forest
laugh,
breathing after that?
oh yeah, well, when you laugh, it changes your body. Like when you smile, you're releasing endorphins, right, to calm your body. And so when you're laughing, it's healing your body. And we can just start, like when I was laughing just a minute ago, you were laughing because
It's
because
like yawning. You
it
can't
just
do it once at a time.
right, right. It starts off a chain reaction of silliness and fun and healing. And Muriel saying she teaches laughter yoga. Yeah, we need to laugh. We need to laugh, and that's what I love about you, JJ. That you're so fun and silly, and but you're yeah, also you're strong and confident like the gorilla. So you have all these like you're like the monkey and playful 1 minute, So are you being a monkey? Are you being a gorilla? Are you being a
Mhm.
turtle going into your shell and taking rest?
That's
Right.
my
So
favorite
which animal
animal,
are
the
you?
turtle. You know that.
The turtle.
I love
I
turtles
love
and like a bunch of different oh actually I did, but it looks like Neo has knocked that little sign off the wall, so I can actually show it to you guys. But yeah, my mom like buys me something with turtles on it all the time. One day I'll have to take a picture of all of them and show you. I've got like a whole collection. But I loved ever since a kid I loved turtles because of how I just felt like it resonated with me like slow and steady wins the race, especially when I got older and learned about that. Then I really like, I don't know what it was. I just really loved that they had that shell, I guess, too, because I was a little more reserved as a kid. I never would have thought to get on here and do something like this. But yeah, that's
Oh yeah,
really cool. I love it. And you can be
that's
all
interesting.
those things all at once too, or not all at once, but you know what I mean? Like that's a good point. People can be that silly person and yet still be responsible. That's really cool. And so,
Yeah, we want to be developing ourselves.
oh, I was just gonna say, and then I get so excited. Tell us about the forest bathing too. What is that?
Oh, wow. Well, that's really going in quietly into nature, like and connecting with the trees. I went and we went up to Just Love Forest. Our friend Bala has like 700 acres in Rome, Georgia, and we went up and he let us forest bathing and he said, connect with a tree, give your whole, be very vulnerable, share all your vulnerable experiences with the tree and receive. And so I was with this beautiful tree and I felt her energy and I don't even know if she was alive. She was laying on another tree and I saw her wounds and her scars and I thought how beautiful she was. And I just felt that quiet energy. So I was with her about 10 or 15 minutes. And then I went over to her. I mean, I was down at her base. And then I went over to the tree she was standing on and I just put my arms around both of them. They weren't very big trees, but then I felt connected to all of the root system because the trees help each other, nourish each other. When one tree is not in the sun, the other trees that are will send nourishment to those trees that, they're not getting enough sunlight, enough nourishment. So through the root system. And I felt just that power of connection with all living beings as I stood there with that tree that was helping support her because she had fallen over. Just what a blessing it was, what a blessing that moment was. And that 15 minutes of quiet forest bathing. And then we moved on and I had a experience with an old soul rock and, in the winter cold and to see what was it like for him or her in that cold environment of winter, what I learned from her. And I saw all these little organisms on that little rock and for those little organisms this was shelter and habitat and just to be aware of wow we're going through this world and we're missing so much and those were beautiful experiences and we went on and had other experiences but those were just a couple and so yeah we're learning about leading these forest bathings to help heal the world help bring people back to nature and because some of us are so disconnected from nature.
That is really cool. And I saw the videos you uploaded was with James playing his drums too. Is that part of the forest bathing or is that a separate event that you guys were doing?
well
That was maybe
well
at
that's
church.
he does circles too, and so he's doing drum
Oh,
circles
that's
up in the forest. Yeah, so when you
nice.
all come down here, you and Don will have to come to the drum circle, and stay in Bala's tent. He has a bell tent or a yurt, spend the night out there. And it's beautiful. It's not too rustic, but it's enough rust. It's in between, to bring
You
people
can
that don't
handle
want
rustic tough
right.
chicks.
So yeah, so we're doing drum circles and sound journeys with like singing bowls and James has these beautiful cymbals and all sorts. James is a musician for I don't know how many decades, but he has like all these beautiful instruments, just things that you wouldn't even think about for these sound journeys. And you just lay quietly and listen for maybe 30 minutes or an hour just to different sounds. It's not it's nothing orchestrated. It's just allowing different beautiful sounds to flow in and out.
That is really cool. I think it's so important to talk about this kind of stuff because a lot of times when we are thinking about vegan, a lot of stuff we think about is about food being, which is a huge part of it because, of course, it's what we eat. But I think it embodies all of this. Like if we think about, nature, and I love that you bring that in, you bring in the animals in a different way rather than just saying, like, this is the bad stuff that goes on with animals. You're actually sharing with people why we can connect with animals and how they have emotions and strength and how they are with their young, maybe, you know what I mean? And when you think about that, how they interact with each other, that's making a really profound connection for people sometimes that you don't have to say, why would you love your dog and not love the animals or something of that effect, how we've heard people come off at people. Instead, we're saying, like, look, this is how we connect with animals, and you're saying this is why you can learn from these animals. Look how important and empowered the animals are within their kingdom. And I think in some ways you're helping people also make that connection that maybe that might be something they want to even move deeper into, to find a deeper connection with animals. And what ultimate connection can we be except, eating, like a vegan, like living without, eating fully eating, animals, or even moving closer to that. Because I know there's a lot of people in my group who I really commend because they're really just moving in that direction. Like a friend that I have at work that I talk about all the time, she's starting to try more plant-based recipes even though her family's not fully vegan. But the cool thing is she may try so many of them that she may really get into vegan cooking and say, you know what, I think I can do this. Why are we not all, So like you just talked about, it's a journey, but it comes with making connections. And that's what you're helping people do. And in the process of making the connections, you're helping them be a more empowered person. So I think that is so cool. I found my little I love turtles.
Oh, I love turtles. How
My mom or
cute.
my sister, I can't remember which one or both. Sometimes they give me both presents, like for I think it was my birthday or something. That was one of my little turtle gifts. I
That's
forget
sweet.
where.
Yeah.
I had another little one they gave me at Christmas. It was like a little one and his head swivels. One of those.
Oh,
Yeah, that
yeah.
was. I
That's
think we
cute.
got. Oh, she said yes. The fun helps a lot in this serious world. Well, we'll have to. Do you do that online, or do you guys only do that at your church? The vegan
Well,
laughter.
we could do it online. Yeah, we maybe we'll do it online for you. That would be fun for us to all do it. You know,
Yeah, I would
definitely.
definitely join. You could, once you get it all
Yeah.
set, definitely put it out there so we can all join in. Even if we have to sign up ahead of time, get our seat. You might not be able to make all of us laugh. It might overcrowd the system,
In the Zoom
right?
room.
Accurate. I have lots of percussion instruments. Yes, right. Cool.
Right.
That's good. And that's what I was talking about. Different people using their talents for different things. He's actually using his musical talent. I didn't even mention that one. We were talking about artwork and writing. That is just really cool. Everyone has their own.
Right. And you don't know what's coming. Like, a year ago, James was like, well, how can I do something? How can I take what I have and bring in money in a different way? Right. Well, I said, just just show up, in a big way, and the universe will take care of that. So here we are a year later. Now we've been introduced to sound journeys. So he's taking that musical, the structured music, but now he's able to use all these instruments that he has for the sound journeys in a whole different fashion. Well, there was no way to know back a year ago how it was going to look, right? That's, again, it's not linear, it's not masculine. Oh, here's how it's going to be. It's feminine. We just go through and we show up in a big way, and the universe will send the answers. The universe will let you grow, and she will direct you. And that's what's happened. We've been directed to, we've been guided to sound journeys, to forest bathing, to laughter yoga. We had no idea a year ago about this, but the universe, she will guide, and if we trust her.
That is amazing. And that's how, look at how this has guided us through different phases of our vegan journey. When you first became, and how long have you been vegan, by the way?
I don't know. It's a hard question because I
Roughly.
was vegetarian in 95, and then
Oh, okay.
vegan and back
So a long
and
time.
forth. A long time, yeah, a long time.
That's cool.
So
So, but over that time, did you ever think in the very beginning when you first heard the word vegan that you would actually be a vegan empowerment coach? Probably not, right? The universe has guided you to us.
no, I don't even know why. I didn't even know what I would be. I mean, I didn't. I was always confused for years and years and years, right? Of confusion, confusion, confusion. But once you know, I mean, once you really connect with your heart and soul, you'll know it. And that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to do. Let's connect with your heart and soul and your wisdom, right? And that, whatever that passion is, you'll really truly show up in the right way, and then it could change. I mean, it'll just grow and grow and grow. We're growing forever. I want somebody to say, when I pass away, well, darn it. And then that's not really darn it, but, well, she was working on this project, right? And I don't want them to see that as a negative. I died working on something. I died still going, right? It's not like,
Yeah.
whoa, she got all this accomplished and now she died. No, she still was working.
And
I
plus,
mean,
you're
working,
leaving
that
your
doesn't even seem like work. Mhm.
messages with the world. You have all these videos, and even if you're not someone who's online, you never know who might you might have had a conversation with, who you might have gave a compliment to, and really might have changed their day. When you see somebody that you're impressed with, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube or in the same room with them, or at wherever you are, just take that time out of your comfort zone, I would say that to them, because it might be the only thing they've heard all week, or it might be somebody who's frustrated or having a really bad month or something, and that could really just make the difference. And I think that is what is so inspiring about what we can do. Like, we don't have to think about we're changing the world, we have to write 10 books, or we have to do that. It could be a conversation you have with someone that you talked about your health benefits, or how you connect with animals, and they might end up taking that and looking into more information. You may never see them again, but you've changed their life, because now they're have went on a different, they might find their whole purpose in life behind that one little compliment or comment you made, like, hey, you seem really good at that. Taking that, they could, maybe they've never heard that. So you don't always think, like, when I see somebody doing something good or something, it's like, take that time to say that, because you don't know, they might not feel confident in themselves. I think that's a and you're always very encouraging on all of our pages, and in whenever I do something, it's nice to hear that too, because you think someone, sometimes no one notices. So, like, you guys that comment on our videos, it lets you know, hey, somebody's watching, somebody's listening. So, thank you for all the different things you guys do, you and James, for helping people connect with nature, and for you helping empower people and kind of guiding them when they need it. Muriel said
Well,
she
thank you
really
for
liked
everything.
that.
Mm.
With the I think that was when you said that the just go with the flow, and the universe will take you where you need to go.
Right. Yeah. When you show up in your passion, the universe sees, and she will give. when we trust her and be excited, right? What is she going to give me today? What am I going to discover today? Right? The other day I was like, oh, well, I'm looking for something. I wonder if it's going to show up in the email. There it was. The universe knows. She delivers.
That
I
is
love
so
that comment.
cool. That is great. I never dreamed I'd eat this way. I used to toss my peas under the dinner table to my dog when I was growing up. Who said that, Diana? That's funny.
That's too
The dog was probably healthy, right? Um, that is cool. And peas are actually considered a fruit. Did you know that? I've heard that
No, I
recently.
didn't.
Yeah, I think I put it as a trivia. Me either. I was surprised. Something to do with that there, or the seed or a pod, or because they come out of the pod. I don't know. I have to look it up again, but I'm always intrigued by those little trivia things. Yeah, that's true. Like you said, she never, you were just talking about that. You didn't even know what you thought vegans were crazy, right? And we're tossing our peas, and never liked certain things, and it's like weird how you can change. You never know where you're going to be, and that's a good
Exactly. No, what you said is so true. You never know where you're going to be, and we don't know where anyone else is going to be. So let's not throw them under the bus.
Yeah, and not think they're never somebody. Like there are people that I did not ever imagine that would even be interested in my vegan knowledge channel, but I invite everybody and I put the information out there. And like there's people that I've known for years that I would have never sent them an invite had I really sat and thought about it. But I was so new with the whole thing, I just clicked all friends. And now I probably, like, sometimes when you're newer at something, you also have more confidence. Do you notice that? Like sometimes we have to stop, I think, and stop ourselves from thinking too much. Because now I feel like, because we might have been met with adversity with people, or conflict, sometimes we're like, almost it makes us in fear of saying something, that I might not have been in fear of, like when I was first vegan. Like I would talk about it in a different way, more freely, than thinking, oh, I don't want to offend them. I don't want to say this. I don't want to seem like I know like more than someone. You know what I mean? So I'm always really mindful of what I post and how I say it. And like I feel like, sometimes it can be a good thing, but other times I can definitely overthink it.
No, yeah. I mean, overthinking is good if you're thinking the right thing, but if you go down the wrong track, like if we overthink, wow, we're amazing vegan superstars, yay! You know, then
Not amazing vegan superstar. When I
so
grow
be
up, I'm going to
mindful.
be one.
You already are one.
You
I'm on
are
this
the vegan
vegan superstar
superstar.
channel.
That's why you're the guest. I'm just a game show host.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I did want to be that at one point in my life, oddly enough. Could you see it? Me in there with the microphone.
Yeah, I can see it.
A teacher, I really
That's
wanted to be, mostly though. And sometimes I feel like I
that's
get to
funny.
live that. That's why
Mhm.
we love this, don't we? It's like it's so nice to teach someone something that and see them kind of take it and run with it and then teach others.
Yeah, it's a blessing, right? Yeah, it's a blessing. And then allow them on their journey and support them, be there for them, and be kind. Kindness always. We don't have to agree, but we have to be kind.
Absolutely. Oh, congrats. And Diana said her mom is lacto vegetarian. Look at this. They really keep it in the family. I love it. That's so great. I love hearing like things like that, because a lot of times we're always saying like our families won't listen, they won't go vegan, and then it's really good. I love this live stream because we're hearing like good stuff, like mom is moving out of dairy, and and my daughter, 8-year-old, is plant based, and like my daughter's plant based. We got the mother daughter teams. I'm like, this is so cool. I love it. Like keeping that. See what you've done. You brought that positive vibe to this live stream, and now every positive thing is popping up. I love it. The universe is bringing that to us, right? I
Yeah, the universe is listening.
I've kept you so long. I know I probably have to let you get to your evening, but I just realized the time, like, oh wow, we could talk forever, right? But
I know
thank
we could
you.
forever. I know Louis is probably hungry over there. He's
Oh,
like,
poor
I'm ready
little
for dinner.
Louie. He won't make an appearance really. She is the cutest dog. He is so cute. Check out your her Facebook when you get a chance too. I don't know if you put that. Did you put that on the Empowered Vegans? That one where it said it's time to get up already or something. He had this like face like he didn't want to wake up. But
He's
he's
on my
always
personal page.
he sometimes comes on the live streams with you, doesn't he? Like I've seen him on one or two. He'll just be holding you'll be holding him. He is really cute.
Yeah, he, he's yeah. He doesn't really like the live streams, but I get him up, and I tell him this is part of your dedication to the earth. It's time for you to show up and represent dogs. So come on, step up.
Yeah, I need dog food cookie, right? Um, just in like closing, I guess, or we don't have to definitely close, but just as the ending of our conversation here, I wanted to thank everyone for coming. I love all the comments that everybody was making. I love all the engagement. Um, and just like what would be like your message if you could put it out like to summarize all this stuff we've been talking about the conversations we can have with other people who are not vegan.
Well, first of all, I think to know that you're the solution, right? You're not depending on anyone else, and empower yourself. And always be kind, right? That comes first. Kindness first. Like you were saying, JJ, build rapport with people first. And then they'll care about you. My friends know I'm vegan, and I know some of them have bad health. I know that they're probably going to come to me later, and that's okay. That's wonderful. I'm not judging them now. So the main thing is to empower yourself. And that's why I have the coaching programs. I'm starting a group at the end of the month, and we have scholarships for people that can't afford it. But I mean, the important thing is to heal yourself so you can heal the world.
That was supposed to be you that was on the big screen. That did not work out well. There we go. I don't even know if
Okay.
that didn't work right. But anyway, now we're in some kind of weird side by side thing here.
Okay.
But anyway, I just wanted
Well,
them to hear your message loud and clear and see you on the screen because mine was blinking. But I loved what you said, though, just to summarize it because it went all weird there. You were saying build rapport with people first. So that's one thing we can take away from this. We don't have to make the first thing we say is, "Hi, I'm JJ, I'm vegan." In fact, I never really do that anywhere I go. It's going to come up. But yeah, that's a great point. And express interest in them too because it's not all about us, it's really not. It's about understanding people and like you said earlier, find out what interests them or what at what point they would find interest in this type of lifestyle. It might not be animals for that person right now. Maybe that's something that needs to evolve later. Maybe right now it's their health, or that they want to eat something that's going to reduce their cholesterol, or they might be a cook and you could say, hey, like maybe it's creative, you'd be really good at vegan cooking because you have a lot of creativity and you know how to cook. Could you, maybe come up with a recipe and see how it tastes for me? Like, that'd be a nice little way to get somebody to do it, right? Maybe they'll eat it and really like it.
yeah. I mean, you got to be an explorer, discoverer, discover what they are interested in, right? Don't make it about us. I'm interested in animals, so you have to be too. No,
Right.
take time to know the person, like you said, JJ. Care about them.
Mm-hmm.
Not let's not be fake. Let's really care about others.
That makes a lot of sense. And then, so that's part of the message. And then loving ourselves and is a big message that you put across. And not being
Exactly. Self
afraid.
compassion. I mean, not being what?
Oh, I was just delayed. I thought you didn't say anything else, and then I heard you were going on. Go, I'm gonna let you talk.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, be the shining star that the universe put you here for.
That is a great message. Thank you so much. And then let's just make sure that we know. Oh, wait, I missed that message here. When I told my dad about vegan diet, he couldn't even pronounce the word right. That's funny. Yeah, because a lot of people can't pronounce it. I've heard it pronounced different ways. I'm like, whatever way you say it's okay, right? And then Muriel said thank you, and she said here, so enjoyed this today. That is wonderful. Thank you. I really enjoyed the conversation too. And James said, "Paws up for greatness." There we go. Yes, I'll put my paws up. I love it.
Yeah, this has been fun. Thank you all. I will do it again and you'll come on my show again.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming on and for all the inspiration. And just a reminder, go to the description now and please click on Mariquita's YouTube channel and subscribe. Go to the group. I'll see you in the group if you join in there. It's a really cool group. She always has really engaging questions and posts and inspirational things about animals. I love those little animal things you were doing last week. And also, if you're interested in getting some additional coaching and some help, and just to be able to have a conversation with her, definitely go in there and check out the class or the course or the program. I keep forgetting what it's called. I'm not doing well with words today, but Mariquita's.
Well, it's group coaching. My group coaching
Why
program
can't I
next
think of that?
I'm not sure. I can't remember the exact title right now as I'm getting starstruck here with you. But anyway, so group coaching program that's starting at the end of the month, right? Message me. Let's talk about it. If this resonates with you, learning from animals and stepping into your power. We have a goal at the end of the 12 weeks. We meet for 12 weeks once every week. We have a tangible goal we're working towards. Sometimes people are working towards, maybe finishing half of a book, something that's doable in 12 weeks. So it depends on what you want to do. And we all meet every week and see how you're moving forward towards your goal, where you're getting stuck, and we're standing with you to support you.
And if you're like a new vegan or you've been vegan for a long time and you just feel like, I feel like Mariquita can help both of those kinds of people. You're really good with new people and you're good at helping, re-inspire and empower vegans who might have gotten kind of overwhelmed with everything and got that vegan anger, like it's like the world's not changing fast enough. The world's not doing like, well right now, or not we're not making change, but we really are. Everything you do is making a difference, and you are making a huge difference and a huge like change in the world. So thank you for all your definite your wisdom and your knowledge, your vegan knowledge. I'll have to use the name of it.
Yeah.
We can help people with amazing transformations, and I thank you for coming on here for all this time that you spent.
Yeah, well, let me tell you one last thing. I do one-on-one coaching too, and I do have people that have really come from anger, and now they're out there doing great activism. So it's very inspiring and exciting. So yeah, and I thank you, JJ, and everyone for watching. This has been a true blessing. I don't know how I'm going to sleep tonight because I'm so excited about talking and laughing and being all wired now. But anyway, it's fun. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And I just want to quickly mention everybody. Thank you, everyone who has joined in. James, thank you for being here. Diana, Mona, thank you for coming. And thank you, Adagal. I still feel like I'm saying that wrong, but thank you. You know who you are. Thank you, Muriel. And thank you to, I'm probably going to miss someone because I'm Diana Varner, plant based. Thank Rachel for joining the group recently for us. And Muriel, say hello to Michelle wherever she is. And she'll probably catch the replay if she's not already here. And I think I said James, Mona. If I missed anyone, just know I hopefully read your message. And thank you, Mariquita. Everyone, have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye. Namaste, vegan.
I forgot. Thank you.